Luna, on a scale from 1 to 10, how likely would you say it is that you would run away? Interesting. I disagree. What's happening, guys? Josh here with TerrierOwner.com. Welcome back to the Terrier Owner YouTube channel, the channel that is specifically designed to help new Terrier owners, a lot of Jack Russell Terrier owners more specifically, but basically a channel that is just here to help guide you on how to train, how to raise, and how to take care of these terriers in the best fashion possible. So if that's you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you are staying tuned for all the new videos that come out so that you can get all the latest tips and tricks that me and Luna here are providing to you to take care of these Jack Russell Terriers. And give us a thumbs up on the videos if you enjoy them. But now, for today's video, guys, I want to dive into if these Jack Russell Terriers will run away. It's gonna be a doozy. So that's what this entire video is gonna be about. If these guys are prone to run away, how to stop it, what to do, and how to avoid it in general. So stick around for just a second. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back, and like I said, this entire video is going to be dedicated to discussing if a Jack Russell Terrier is prone to run away, how to avoid it, and what you can do. So I want to start diving into that now here with Luna, the guest star of the show, and kind of start hitting on some of the tips I have for you guys and just being completely honest with how it works. So with that being said, yeah, they will run away. They will find a way to run away, and they love to run away. So how do you stop it? What do you do? You know, what tactics do you need to be putting in place to make sure she stays put and doesn't get herself out there in a bunch of danger? Well, my first tip for you guys is you need to teach them the basics, which for running away, one of the best things you can do is recall training, which is a fancy term for come and stay, yeah. You want them to be able to return to you when they get excited chasing something. It takes time to train them this. Honestly, Luna's not perfect at it yet. She's better at licking at this point, aren't you? But yeah, guys, work on that. Use clicker training, use treats, teach them to sit, increase the distractions around them when you're doing this trick so that they can get used to not darting when they see a squirrel, when they see a car. That's what's going to excite them. Man, you should, when she sees a squirrel, it's game on still. And we're over 2 years into this. These dogs, when they see any kind of varmint outside there, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog when they see it. It's entertaining, but it could be a problem if they're not on a leash or you don't have control over them. So that is tip number one. Teach them recall training, reward them, and start getting them programmed to do what you say. Tip number two is arguably the hardest thing to do when a dog runs away. And guess what that might be? Do not chase them. If you're wondering why, it's pretty simple. Chasing them is very fun to them, and you do not want them to associate darting away from you as fun, and you also don't want them to run further away. Then they're going to remember that, oh hey, you know, last time I saw that rabbit and I ran 7 miles into the nearest town, I got chased the entire time and it was the best time of my life. You don't want to do that. So when that happens, it's hard. And I get it, because you have to get them back, especially when there's traffic and vehicles around, but you want to avoid having to do that if possible. It's almost better to, I wouldn't necessarily use treats either, because that's almost like a reward, but use something to distract them or break that train of thought to get them to come back to you. Obviously, if that doesn't work, do what you got to do, keep them safe. But if you can avoid chasing them like you're another dog or the squirrel that they're chasing, it's going to help them not want to do it in the future. Tip number three, guys, is it's pretty simple, but it's also harder to do than I make it sound. But even if you have a fenced-in yard or an area that you feel safe letting them roam around in, you have to supervise or at least check in on them, because these are highly, highly intelligent dogs. And they get bored, which I'll touch on here in a second, but they get bored so easily, and they pick up scents. They were a hunting dog, and they're gonna find a way. Like, my fence is secured, but she will dig too. I mean, go to the video on this channel about Jack Russells and digging. They'll find a way out. They're not stupid. So that doesn't mean you have to be outside with them when you let them out all day long, but it does mean to check on them every now and then, or use a lead if they continually get themselves into trouble outside, or find a way to get out of the yard. Because you have to keep in mind that these guys can also jump much higher than most dogs. So it's not just them going under, in between, and wedging between things, but they might be able to clear a small fence. So not only have a secured area, but keep an eye on them, check on them, make sure they're not getting into trouble, or use a lead if necessary. All right, guys, tip number 4 is one of Luna's favorites, right, Luna? You have to prevent boredom with these guys. And again, you don't always have to be present. You don't have to necessarily be interacting with them every second of the day, but you can't just set it and forget it. You can't leave them out back all day long and expect them not to do something you don't want them to do. If they're out there, maybe have a basket of toys or a bucket of toys, whatever you want to use. I don't care from that standpoint, but have some toys, have something to keep them engaged, or when they're not engaged anymore, bring them inside where they can't get away or run away. And you're going to be in much better shape. If you allow them to get bored is when you get into trouble. So avoid that boredom. Again, check on them, supervise them, have a fenced in yard if they're not on a lead. Even consider using a lead if the yard is fenced in, and keep them mentally engaged, and it's going to help a lot. Something I always mention when it comes to keeping these guys engaged and working with them is to make sure you provide them exercise, which I'm going to beat that dead horse again here and talk about that. But one way to wear them out to where they don't have that energy to always get in trouble is to provide as much exercise as you can. It tuckers them out, wears them out, burns off some of that energy to where they just don't really have all of that pent up, you know, little kid strength to go get into as much trouble as they can. So provide that exercise, continue to train them, stay consistent with them and disciplined with them, and it will get better. But if you are getting ready to adopt one soon, or you just did adopt one recently, then you should be aware that running away is a real possibility with these guys. But with that being said, you also need to realize that it's not really a reason to get too worried about, or a reason that you shouldn't adopt one. They still make excellent dogs. There's plenty that you can do to make sure that you keep them contained, whether it's using a fence, whether it's using even the electronic beat collars, and just the recall training that we've already discussed in this video. You have options. So don't ever let the idea of them being dogs that are prone to want to scamper off on you be a reason not to adopt one. They still make awesome dogs. If you're careful, it won't happen. Keep an eye on them when they're out back, and you'll be in great shape. As always, guys, we appreciate you coming by the channel. We appreciate all the subscribers. We hope this video brought you some good content and it was helpful today. And for all of you who are new, make sure you visit terrierowner.com. Make sure that you like the video, that you subscribe to the channel, and we will see you all in the next video. Take care.